Welcome back, everybody. I'm Jordan with my co-host Ashton, and we have a lot of stories for you guys today. So we're super stoked. I mean, we got a lot of views last time, right?
Yeah, a whopping 54. Thank you guys. Yeah, well, I don't know how to read all the analytics yet. So if anyone listened on Apple, let me know if you listen because I really don't know how to work the
We don't know
monitor.
who listened on Apple, but so I mean, it has to be more than 50. So we were pretty stoked. We honestly thought we may get like 10, maybe. And you guys really impressed us. So please keep listening. And we're just happy someone besides mom thinks we're funny. So I'll take it as a win.
Thank you guys. That was so nice. When Jordan told me all the people that reached out to her, I was like, oh my gosh, I haven't heard from that person forever. Oh my gosh, can't wait to hear that person's story. So thank you guys for following up. It was really nice.
Yeah, if you reached out and, I mean, we had so many people that were like, I have some really funny stories. I'd love to come on. And some people were like, more people than I thought were down to be interviewed than I fully expected. So that was cool. So yeah, if you guys reached out, just know that I have you on my list. So I will just reach out to you as, we come up and need stories and
we might have a super special surprise for you guys coming early next week. So look out for that. We're very excited.
It'll be good. Very special guest coming on. So I won't give it away. I act like she's a celebrity.
I know. Well, to the Lee Summit crew, they'll be like, oh my God, I do remember her.
Yeah, we'll keep it under wraps. So, so if you're listening,
do you want
keep an eye out for it?
We'll be like, do you want to plug anything? And she'll be like, my Instagram, my Uber Eats. I don't know.
Hey, you may get 50 more followers. I don't know. So so we do have a guest coming that I think we're going to release the episode Monday. So hopefully you guys hear this and then just have to wait the weekend and then we'll have another episode for you. So we're going to try to crank them out, I think, right now, just to get some content. And then we'll go to we're going to try weekly, but some weeks we may do a bonus just as we have stories come in. Yeah. So if you're willing to be interviewed or have a really funny story, reach out to us like you guys have been, because we just kind of have a running list of stories. So all right. Well, going forward, I didn't see Ashton all weekend because she was gone. She left me. Not we even live in the same town, but
no, but I did feel bad because after the first episode, I was like, oh my gosh, I want to do this again. But I was in Scottsdale for my birthday and then one of my good friend's birthdays. So we did a little girls trip. It was really fun. And, you never know who you're going to see on vacation, which is really funny.
So tell the story, because Ashton vaguely told me what happened, but I haven't heard the full story. So tell me with everybody else how this unfolded in Scottsdale.
Yeah. So we all got to Scottsdale pretty early and we couldn't even check into the Airbnb until 4 p.m. So okay, we have a lot of time to kill. Let's go to this one brewery brat house thing and we'll just sit and drink until we can check in. And so we get there, the food is great. Drinks are really great. Dylan, the waiter, was amazing. So if you go to Brat House in Scottsdale,
shout out Dylan.
Shout out to Dylan. So we're sitting there and one of the guys that's with us, he's like, oh my gosh, I need to stop stressing out. I'm going to run into someone. We're in Scottsdale, Arizona. Nobody from Missouri.
And this is the first bar you went to, right? The first bar off the plane.
Yeah. Right? We left the airport straight to this place with our luggage. And I'm we're all laughing. We're like, oh my gosh, yeah, that's so true. LOL. A little while goes by. Now the corner of my eye, I'm like, oh my gosh, that guy's wearing a Kansas City Chiefs shirt. And I was about to say something, but I'm like, oh, I can't say MIZ because I don't know if this guy went to Mizzou or something. And I keep looking at this group and I'm like, oh my gosh, Molly, is that so-and-so from Lee Summit? And she's like, oh my gosh, I think it is. I'm like, I don't think so. What are the odds? That's crazy. No, it's not. Well, it was my ex-boyfriend. And not a serious ex.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think when I was 16, I would drive you guys to McDonald's and whatever middle school couples do. I don't know.
This was my middle school boyfriend. So I told Clayton, my boyfriend, my now boyfriend, I was like, yeah, I ran into my ex. It was kind of crazy. And he's
did you specify my 13-year-old ex, or you just said ex?
At first I was mysterious. I was like, guys, my ex is here. So I see him and I'm like, oh my gosh, Molly, Molly, it was the other girl's birthday and we all went to high school together. I'm like, Molly, we have got to say hello. Like, that's crazy. What are the odds? And she's like, we absolutely do not have to. Like, we don't have to say hello.
You don't
like,
owe it to him, but it is awkward because it's like, if you guys see each other and you don't make the effort, now it's awkward. And it's like, now forever, he's like, can't believe I ran into you in another city.
So rude.
And you didn't say hi, right?
Yeah. And so I'm like, okay, I'm going to wait till because I'm waiting. I'm like, well, he might come up and say hello. And like, we're both avoiding eye contact, like playing chicken. Anyway, it's finally 4:00 when we check into the Airbnb. So we get our stuff and I'm like getting my backpack and I look up and I'm like, hello. And he's like, oh my God, Ashton and Molly, what? You guys are here. That's crazy. And we're talking, whatever. And I'm like, okay, well, like, we got to go. As we're walking away, Molly's like,
wait, you did this as you were leaving?
Yeah.
So that way you didn't have to talk.
Correct. No. I was like,
I would do that. I get it.
Well, they're playing cornhole and he's there on a bachelor party. And so I'm like, well, I don't want to like, also I'm
you
like,
also don't want to get wrapped into that. And then like some drunk guys are like, come hang out with us. And you're like, not interested.
And I reek. And I'm like, wow, like of all places to run into an ex right after an airplane, even though I'm like, I don't really care what I look like, but I'm like,
it's a bad soap opera for sure. Like that's a soap opera episode.
Yeah. And so as we're leaving, Molly says, see, Ashton, he didn't even know we were here. Like, we did not need to say hello. And I'm like, he's a liar. He knew absolutely we were there. He's lying to our faces. No, and I know this because we saw them later on in the weekend as we're out. And I called him out. I was like, dude, I know you saw us. Like, I know you were lying. And I tell him what everyone else had said. Like, we didn't need to say hello. And he's like, oh no, I knew as soon as we walked in, I knew exactly it was you guys. And I'm like, see, and we had to say hello. And it was just so funny.
What a guy move.
He did tell me, he's like, yeah, the guys I'm with didn't believe that we dated. So we had to pull out the 8th grade photo when I'm like,
you guys dug deep. And you're like, no, look.
Yes. And I was like, yeah, back when I was taller than you. Yeah. So
that's true. Weekend. Ashton was taller than him.
Yeah. So you never know who you're going to see.
Super serious.
Yeah. Very serious. Crazy.
Maybe that's our episode name. Where did I run into my ex?
Yeah. Running into
like exes. Nobody knows.
Spoiler alert drama. No. Yeah, no, it was a really good weekend. It was a great birthday. Had to spend a lot of time recovering. But yeah, happy to be back. How was your weekend?
I did nothing. I took
hang out with your son,
my child. Yeah, no, Miller now. You know, when you're a parent, and it's like, I think people don't realize this. Like when you have a kid, you know, it's like before you have a kid, you can do anything you want. Like we could just be like, yeah, like let's go downtown and just like go drive around or go do this, whatever. And like when you have a kid, everything is planned out. Like whether you were a plan out person before or not, you have to become that way because it's a whole camping trip when you go in here, right? If you want to go just have a beer at a bar, you have to coordinate the sitter. I have to call mom and dad and be like, can you watch Miller? And then we have to figure out, okay, where can we go in this reasonable window of time?
Yeah.
You know, and then by the time you coordinate all of this, you don't even really want to go. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like that was a lot of work.
It's just a lot of work for like just one little like getting a drink. So no, we Miller is full on like running at this point. So I noticed we just do simple stuff. Like I'll just go in the backyard, I'll pop out my lawn chair and maybe get a tasty beverage. I don't know.
And then he just with your baby.
Yeah, he brings me stuff. Like it's kind of funny. Like he'll find a stick and then he'll be like, look at it. Now he doesn't say look at it, but his eyes say, look at this.
The dogs
and you're like,
do this.
Whoa. And I have to act so surprised because it's like I don't want to be like, that's stupid.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Oh, that's the coolest stick I've ever seen. And then he goes and gets another one. And it's just
that's awesome.
So we have very different weekends. So I just want you to know that was the extent of my weekend was playing fetch with my baby.
Taking shots with strangers. You were hanging out with your son, which sounds just as nice, really. So
I know, but you know, my mom friends, because I have my friends had kids around the same time. We have a group of us moms that we figured out a strategy to go have a good time. So we decided we're going to take, now we have a lot of PTO, right, for work because like we don't take off anymore because we have children, you know, and we don't use it as much. We were like, you know what, let's take off St. Patrick's Day. So we're all taking PTO on St. Patty's Day and we're going to go downtown and like so the moms are going to have a day drinking day.
Oh yeah. While the kids are at daycare.
They're at daycare. Awesome. The dads will pick them up. We have it all planned out. And I'm like, you know what? This is what momming is all about, is using daycare so you and your friends can go day drink.
Oh, mommy daycare. That's awesome. Yeah. That is going to be so fun.
So yeah, Miller's going to be having a good time at daycare. Me and my friends are going to be, taking Irish car bombs and just going crazy on a Thursday on St. Patrick's Day.
Wow.
So pretty
Sounds
big.
Really fun.
Yeah.
Very
fun. Okay. So we have stories today. We have 4 stories for you guys, which we had good feedback from last episode. Everybody said they liked the length of it. They liked how everything fit really into like that 35-minute window, which was kind of cool. So we're going to try to keep the stories fairly short because you guys don't want to hear one story for 30 full minutes. So, we're going to kind of break it up. So I think we have Ashton's going first. Let's just dive in.
I'll just get into it. So this story, and Jordan knows, and that's Jordan and I's issue, is we talk every day, and literally I have to tell her, like, stop telling me what you're going to tell me on the podcast because I want your reaction. But this is a story that when it happened, I think I told you immediately, and I'm like, I can't believe
it's kind of shocking almost. So
yeah, how does this guy still have a job?
And it's not gross. We're going to not tell a gross story this time. We told the poopy pants story last time. Yeah. So I think just fair warning, we're not going to do it every episode. We will not do a poop pants story.
This is a PG episode, I think.
Somewhat of a PG episode.
13?
We'll do PG-13 episode. Okay. So these are they're funny.
Yes. So this is from when I first started my job, and I've been here for like almost 3 years. But this was my first job right out of college. And so, like during orientation, you get the handbook, and like all the rules. What this guy was doing, I don't know if it was like specifically named in the handbook, like don't do this, but it was one of those office, like not secret, but unspoken rules, just like don't do this. So
don't basically run a business out of the office kind of thing.
Your employment. Okay. Yeah. So when I started this job with like a couple other girls, and one of my good friends, she was on a different team than me. And she tells me one day, another girl on her team had made these cookies, and I guess they were delicious. And her whole team was like, oh my gosh, so-and-so, you should sell these cookies. Like, these are amazing. Like, people would eat these up. And this gal's like, oh, I mean, like, this is just my hobby. Like, I just like making these. I'm not going to charge you guys like to eat these cookies.
Like, I like baking. Yeah.
Yeah. And like, this is just something nice I did for you guys. And this other guy was like, oh, like you could turn a really big profit with those. I guess what this guy was doing was he would go to either Costco or Sam's, buy Monster Energy drink in bulk, bring it to the office, like store it under his desk, and then sell it to people for like just a little bit less than what the vending machines were selling it for.
So you had a vending machine in office, and he would just undercut it. Oh my God.
Yes, absolutely. And I'm assuming, because I think we rented the office space, so I'm assuming like the vending machines were not affiliated with our company, but like who we rented from, but like certainly doesn't feel like that would be allowed. Yeah.
It shouldn't be allowed. Well, actually, vending machines are normally owned by who owns the vending machine. Like normally it's just a convenience of people. I could own a vending machine and go to like a laundromat and be like, hey, can I put this vending machine here? And normally they'll be like, yeah, it's more of a convenience for our customers. So maybe the building ownership and even your company was like, we don't care. It's not our,
True.
So,
yeah. But I'm just
ethically odd, ethically very weird, but okay.
Yeah. And so he was doing this, but also what he would do is if you had a Monster Energy drink, like he would know if he sold it to you or not. And he would confront you if you didn't buy it for him. So my friend, yes, my friend, she was big into energy drinks, and she would like go to the store, buy them, and then bring them from home. So one day this guy's like, hey, you didn't buy that from me. And she's like, no, don't worry. I brought it from home. He's like, well, like I'm selling mine for $1.50. Vending machine, they're $2. So like next time you want one, like don't buy from those guys, buy from me. Like he would kind of get mad at people. Yes. And I'm like, oh my God.
That's kind of like a mob mentality, right? Like, it's just like, hey, I see that's not my energy drink.
Yeah. And she's like, I literally bought it from home. Thanks for the offer though. But yeah, I just couldn't
like
believe that.
do what you're doing, but they're my own. And then I just bring them.
Yeah. I don't know if this was like an underground thing or if like the higher up people.
No, like, I mean,
I don't know. I don't know.
Maybe it was like the underground, like it's like a secret society of like, hey, you know where to get those.
I wasn't going to be a rat to this guy. I was scared. He was going to take all the Monster Energy drinks.
But yeah, I guess there's a market for it, right? I mean, it's like there's like a market for like, you know, sneaking cigarettes in prison, you know? So
yeah,
same concept maybe.
If you wanted Monster, you know who you had to go to. Yeah.
Yeah. But he runs the streets though. So it's like, don't even think about getting a different color right from the vending machine.
Oh my God. I think that was the thing where my friend was like, oh, well, I like a different flavor. And he's like, I got it at home. Don't worry. I'll bring it. I'll get that next time. Yeah.
Oh my God. Then she's like so peer pressured into buying. It's so weird.
And this guy had been there for a very long time and like super great at his job. So I don't know if people knew about it, if they were just like, we're going to let it slide. Cause like,
now was it on ice? Like, did he have a full cooler?
I don't think so. I think I peeked.
Wait, was selling them hot?
I was too scared to peek, Jordan. I like didn't want to get caught in the crossfire of this Monster Energy drink, but I think I saw them just like the case underneath his desk, like out in the open. I don't think he would put them in the mini fridge because like you could just walk in and grab whatever. That would be crazy.
Interesting. I was fully expecting a full Yeti, like a Yeti cooler.
I think that'd be a little
every day.
Too obvious.
See, this is the stuff I'm talking about that we miss when we're home, right? Like we miss and some people who aren't in like work from home jobs, you know, they don't understand it, but it's like there's that culture in the office where it's like you can kind of see like, oh, that person is like watching video games at their desk all day, or like this person takes their shoes off every day in the office. That's gross. Like seen that before.
Oh my God, gross.
Or people that make themselves too much at home, like they have slippers like under their desk, or they have like blankets in their drawers. And I'm like,
there were people that would have feet heaters. And I'm like,
yeah, we have that too.
Those shoes on because your dogs are barking.
Your dogs are barking. Your feet stink.
Do not take those puppies off. Oh my God.
Oh, that's a good point. And then it's like just stinky carpet.
Gross.
Ew. On that note, I want to know what the Monster Energy drink guy, I mean, he lost some income here working from home. I mean, what is he doing now?
Should I follow up via Teams?
Should you ping him right now? You should ping him right now and say,
can you ship me?
What did you, can you mail me an energy drink?
Please. Oh my God.
Oh my God. That's so funny. Okay. So my next story was a job I had. I'm not going to say where it was, but it was a home improvement retailer, which there's only two. So take your pick. And also like I was thinking when I was like thinking about how I was going to tell this today, I will say like, you know, when I was a kid and I thought of these home improvement stores, I thought the people working in those departments actually knew about the products. Like I was like, oh, that guy can help me. If I have a plumbing issue at home, I can be like, hey,
what should I do?
What should I do? Right. Like here's just like lesson for everyone. Those people don't know shit about home improvement, like at all. Like you don't have to know anything. Like they were like just throwing people in departments, right? Like the lumber guy doesn't know shit about lumber. Never been a carpenter.
I thought the paint person was like a paint expert.
I worked in paint before. That was my last department before I left. I worked in paint and I was like, are you sure? Because I've never been a painter. I've painted a room before, but I don't know when you're supposed to be oil-based or latex or whatever.
Yeah.
I know we don't use 16. Lead. Yeah, right? Like, I'm like, I don't know. So yeah. So just so you know, don't ask those people at the home improvement stores advice because they don't know anything about it. Like there may be the small percent of old men that are like retired and that did that, but they're so just like giving up on life. They just don't care anymore. They would disappear. Like they were supposed to be in a department and then like they're just MIA. I don't know if they left. I don't know, whatever.
They're like,
super weird.
It's a big store. They're not going to find me anyway.
Yeah. Okay. So I started as a cashier and I will say most of that training is just like, you know, make sure you scan everything, whatever, here's how they can pay. Also though, they talk about, they kind of casually are like, hey, people steal stuff like often. And this is like not a terrible area. Like, I mean, where I worked, it wasn't like downtown or anything. It wasn't like the best area of the city, but it wasn't like a bad area either. And they were like, so people steal stuff sometimes. If they try to steal something, you just let them go. And I was like, what?
Mhm.
Like, what if they grab, because some of these power tools are like $500+ for like, a drill set or whatever. Right.
Mhm.
And they were like, it's gonna, like, if it happens, just let them go. Well, I didn't realize how often it happened. And
Mhm.
people would just be standing in line with like a very expensive item, like some sort of like saw or whatever. Like I'm talking about big, like miter saw or like whatever,
Mhm.
just kind of waiting in line. And then they just dart out the door, like just full on run out the door. And all you just say is, hey.
Did you have like a security guard or something? Or
we had one security guard for the whole store, but obviously he only worked like this time to this time. So
yeah,
of course they would figure it out, and they would do it when they knew like he wasn't normally working or something.
Mhm.
But one person for a whole store is just ridiculous. So he was the only one that could actually chase after them or whatever. Cause I think it was liability, right? Like they would catch him on camera, and then a lot of times they would get caught like eventually or whatever. But I mean, so yeah. So people would just full on steal power tools and just run out of the door with them. And you're not supposed to do anything. So yeah, that was weird. And then working returns was my favorite. Like that was my one thing. I'd be like, oh, I'll work returns. I love it. And this is why I love it. So people like to, steal stuff and try to return it, which is pretty common. Like, especially things that don't have tags on them. Like they'll buy anything that was like copper, like fittings or like plumbing parts or whatever, steal them, pick, from the shelves, and then they'd come back in and try to return them. Right. Sometimes they were so stupid, they would literally steal them, put them in their purse, walk out, and then 30 minutes later, walk back in with them.
And then I watched you.
We literally just saw you.
And where's
these are from a time before. These are from a time before. And I'm like,
you just stole them.
Ma'am, you do not look like a construction worker.
Oh my God, that is so funny.
And then and always, and like, I wouldn't even say there was like a profile type. Like, it's not even like they looked like crackheads or they looked like whatever. Like sometimes they were people that looked totally normal and they were just trying to like put one over, And like, here's the thing. I was always like, well, when you return something without a receipt, or like you didn't buy it on a card, because if you buy it on a card, they can look it up. It's not it's super easy. So, but if you don't have a receipt or that, you get store credit. And I'm like, well, what are they going to do with all this store credit? Like, it's just like, what do they need it for? Right. And they said, so here was the scam. They would go, pawn shops at the time were apparently giving you cash for half of whatever the store credit was. Yeah.
Wait, so for store credit, like you would just give them a gift card?
Like, yeah, like it would say like store credit for whatever. And then I, would give them the receipt that says, yep, okay, here's $100 store credit. They would literally just take that to a pawn shop, and the pawn shop would give them $50 cash for $100 store credit.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's crazy.
Which is kind of terrible, because that just means the pawn shops are promoting theft, right? Because, like, it's like just kind of crappy.
Yeah.
And like people would go the lengths of like, I mean, there were the times where they would clearly steal from our store and then like try to come return it. But then there were people that would go even further lengths. Like, and these people were normally looked way rougher, like way rougher.
I remember you telling us this.
Yeah. So this like, and it happened often enough to where like, I can't even just pinpoint one situation, but it happened a handful of times where somebody would come in with a like nasty trash bag of stuff and just lay it on the counter and be like, I'm here to return this. And you're like, what? Like that?
What's
like,
in here?
There's like 100 pieces in here. Are you kidding me? And per store policy, I had to, and of course, no receipt, whatever. And also, you're only allowed to return something without a receipt like 3 times within like 60 days or something. So they would get fake IDs, and other people like one lady gave me a man's ID and was like, and I'm like, yeah, that's not you. Like,
I got a haircut.
It was like, that guy has a beard. Like, what is that?
Okay, Steven.
Yeah. And I was like, yeah, no.
Oh my God.
So, but this lady, the first time it happened, the lady did have her ID. Of course, she had like 3 teeth. And she brings this dirty trash bag and is like, I'm here to return this. And they're all these random sized, like plumbing pieces, copper pieces, like conduit pieces, like, all this weird piping and like stuff that like she clearly stole from a job site. Like, my guess is she walked up to a house that was being built and just rummaged through it and then
Mhm.
brought that dirty trash bag to me and said, I want to return this.
And you're like, these have dirt on them. Like these.
Oh, and it was super obvious because some of them were not from our store. They were from another store because like our like barcodes were specific to us, but they wouldn't show up in the system. So per store policy, I had to sift through like hundreds of pieces of this. And at the end of the day, because they were not worth very much money, she got like $20 in store credit. Yeah. And I was
she went to the pawn shop and got like $10. So
literally she stole this, obviously, from a job site because none of the pieces were from our store, then made the effort to come in, return them, and then went to the pawn shop to get her $10 in cash. The effort you went through for this was ridiculous.
Oh my God.
Isn't that terrible? But yeah, so that was my time working at the home improvement store. Now I have, the last thing I did remember while I was working there was a lady that she was pregnant at the time. This woman continued to smoke during her pregnancy and would smoke in front of the building. Like I'm talking like a Saturday busy day, bunch of like it's busy in the store.
Oh,
right?
not
and
even
she's
hiding.
just out there, full pregnant, smoking, just like.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and then got upset when the management was like, "Hey, like you do what you want with your pregnancy, but like we can't do this outside."
Yeah, we can't be known as the store that lets pregnant ladies smoke outside.
Oh my God. This. And she was upset. Like I remember her being like, "They tell me what to do with my body," and I was like, "I mean, like you're pregnant, like
yeah."
I mean,
oh my God.
Listen, you do what you want at home. I'm just saying. No, you are not supposed to do that. Like you're not, that is a no. And it went so far as like, she just couldn't have her uniform on outside because she was so like, I have the right to do this. You can't tell me what to do. And they basically at the end of the day were like, just take your uniform off when you go smoke outside.
Oh my God.
So she continued to prove a point and be the pregnant woman smoking outside of the store.
Take your uniform
just
off.
To prove the point. And then would walk back in and put her uniform on and go behind the counter. I know that was bad. So, yep, that is my story. Well, I have a couple more from there I may bring back, but yeah, I'll leave it at that for now. So
you have the best stories. I'm like sifting through mine and I'm like, I know Jordan's going to bring some hard hitters this week. Like, what am I going to do?
It was good. Good times. Okay, so now we have story number 3. It's Ashton has another one. So go for it.
Yeah, I think you're gonna like this one. So this one is actually from a friend of mine. So she used to work she's not at this job anymore, but this job, it was like in an office setting. And so one of the guys in this office, he was like on the cleaning crew, but he was there quite a bit, doing his job. And this guy was kind of known for being a little too like open with his personal life and kind of going back to that office etiquette, like saying things that you certainly shouldn't tell a stranger. And especially you shouldn't tell a coworker these things. I'm not going to elaborate on that, but you can just like, whatever you're making up in your head.
Picture that person. Everybody knows that person, right? That gives too much information in an office setting, right?
And it was so bad that this girl even knew, like people knew in the office, like, oh, if you're working and you hear this guy behind you, just like look really busy, like have your headphones in, like do not
he'll talk forever. It's like
he'll talk forever about things you don't want to know about. So this one time she's working and no one else is around. She's like the only person that heard this and she's doing her thing and she hears, oh my God. And she turns around and says, what? Immediately knows she made a mistake because she
made a mistake.
Yeah. She's like, oh my God. And she's like, I can't come back. I can't just turn around really quickly because she's so nice. So she's like, what? And this guy says, oh, never mind. I can't tell you. And she's like, okay, perfect. Turns around.
Okay, perfect.
He comes back and he's like, actually, okay, I have to tell you. I'll tell you. And she's like, please don't.
Awesome.
And he looks at her and he says, so I lost a lot of weight recently and my underwear fell down inside my pants.
Yeah. Just now? Like that?
Just now. And I'm like, oh my God, was his butt crack showing? Like what happened? And she's like, no, like his pants were on, but I guess
it fell down in his pants.
Doesn't make any
sense. Oh my God.
A breeze. But I had to think, I'm like, how is he wearing his underwear if your pants didn't fall down, like, was he doing a reverse sag? Like, instead of the pants sagging, like half his butt crack was inside, reverse like touching his jeans.
They'll never know.
Yeah.
Well, also, if he lost that much weight, why is he still wearing the underwear from when he was fat? You know what I mean?
How do the pants why still fit him?
That's what I'm saying. Questions. Like, also, it's like underwear are very cheap. Like, I'm just saying, like, why are you still wearing like extra large underwear when you were like wearing a medium sized pant? I don't know. And also, if the pants fit, why would the underwear fall
down? That's what I'm saying.
Legit. Listen, we're just talking about the logistics and the physics of this. What did your friends say to that? Oh, that sucks.
Like, I think she was just like, oh man. And like slowly turned around. Yeah, and like this
hate it when that happens.
This old crusty man, she's like, I really don't want to think about that right now. But yeah.
Did she see him like after that and have to be like, awesome?
Oh yeah, he still had a job after this, and somehow still had a job after saying like all these crazy things to other people.
I love it. Oh my God, that's funny. Oh, okay. I have another story from Peyton, my husband. Okay. So I say my husband as you're not like his sister-in-law, but like you don't know him.
Well, maybe our 50 listeners, our plays don't know that.
The Monday peeps. I don't know what we'll call them.
Yeah. Like how we're like, we have a special guest, and they'd be like, yeah, so-and-so from high school.
We all know her.
Yeah.
Like it's like the 50 people all know who that person is. So it's not like a celebrity.
They're going to love it.
They're going to be really excited.
Oh my God. I'm so excited.
Okay. Okay. So Peyton, like I told you guys before, like my husband, he works construction. So he has like so many stories that, and like, let me just say, like I said, last episode, like when men get stories or have situations that could be a story and they relay them to you, do they not give like the most minimal information? Like you have to paint the photo yourself, like so much, right? Like, it's like, he literally will give me the bullet points and I'm like, well, what did you ask this? Like, how does this, like, what, you know? And he's like, well, I don't know. I didn't ask. And I'm like, why?
Was this not insane to you in the moment?
You didn't wonder that? Because I would have asked that, but because whatever.
This isn't normal.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's like he just doesn't, they don't think, right? Mm-hmm. So I said, I'm going to need you to ask some follow-up
Sorry, guys.
But I don't think he did. I think he was like, I'm not doing that. So here's the information we have. Yeah, so Peyton has been on this job for like a month, which is like important to the story because he's been around this man, Ron, for like a month. Mm-hmm. And Ron is like at work. He keeps referring to this lady, Big Lisa. And he's like the way he talks about her is like, she's like a bartender or like a girl at the bar or like,
okay, she's not on the job site. It's not like Big Lisa over there.
No. It's like in his personal life. This is someone in his personal life. And he's like talking about Big Lisa. And it's like, maybe that's what he calls her. Like it's like casual stories. Like maybe that's a friends with benefits or like maybe, you know, it's just like bro talk. Like again, not a lot of detail, like very vague, like Big Lisa, we did this, or Big Lisa, we did this. Like it's like a friend, right? It's like a special friend or something, or like maybe a stripper. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. Who's to say?
And well, yeah, and Peyton's like, I mean, the way he talks about her, it's like it's like a girl at his bar. And like her name's Big Lisa. So he's like, okay, maybe it's just like whatever. Yeah. This goes on for a month. A month he's been at this job, right? They're eating lunch. I'm not kidding. This is last week. They're eating lunch. And they tell them that, hey guys, we're going to need to work Saturday, you know, or whatever. So he's like, oh man, Big Lisa's going to be pissed because we're supposed to go to IKEA. And Peyton, they're in a group. I'm like, dang guys, Peyton is like, wait, is Big Lisa your wife? And he's like, yeah. And he's like, wait, what? Like you call your wife Big Lisa?
Do you say this to her face?
And he's like, yeah, that's her name. That's what she goes by.
No, she doesn't. No,
she does. He was like, wait. Your wife? He's like, yeah, been together 22 years. Her name's Big Lisa. He's like, she goes by this. This is her name. And he's like, yeah, this guy's so nonchalant. Like, yeah, what? And everyone else is cracking up. They're like, dude, my wife goes by her name, not and Peyton's like, at this point, I think her first name is Big and last name Lisa.
Mrs. Lisa.
Big Lisa. So yeah, this whole time they all thought he was talking about his bar friend or a stripper or something. No, that's my girl. What? Big Lisa?
20 years, Big Lisa.
And so then I'm like, what is she? They have a Facebook? And he's like, they have flip phones. Like they don't have a Facebook. And I'm like, I need to know what this person looks like. Can we arrange a happy hour? Like I need to meet Big Lisa, right?
Yeah. Local celebrity.
So then this is where I'm going with this. Like if I just say Big Lisa and she goes by this, like, what are you picturing? Because I'm picturing a big girl and Ron is like, and Ron is like 6'4", big guy. So she's got to be big, right? I'm thinking she's got like stripes of white in her hair, maybe like some feathers, you know?
Ooh, that's nice.
Yeah,
that's luxurious.
Like I'm thinking accessory wise, big blingy bag, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you seen her or
no,
is this?
No, this is
I
me
thought you were
making
gonna
up.
come back and be like, she's 5'2".
No. I'm asking, we can paint who she is, right? It's like an identity. I think Big Lisa is a personality in itself, you know?
Yeah. I could see it.
Like, what does she show up to the bar in? Is she wearing like
a crop top?
Like a crop top? Shouldn't be in a crop top, but she is. And like leopard pants.
Lisa will and does fight anyone and everyone in the bar.
Oh yeah, she challenges everyone to an arm wrestling match. Everyone.
And wins. Oh my God. Yeah.
That's how she drinks for free, right?
Oh yeah.
She bets on it. She could be the girl at Chiefs games that is jumping off of trucks onto folding tables.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
She crushes beer cans with her boobs. Like she's
I was going to say that. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think she owns Big Lisa. And I think if you go by Big Lisa, you own that identity. And that's just who you are.
I thought Big that was Lisa. Like, you've been
to the core.
You will always be Big Lisa. Oh my God. I thought you were going to say like, that's what Ron just calls her behind her back. And I'm like, well, that's really mean. But like you introduce, like when I introduce myself, I'm like, oh yeah, Ashton, like Ashton Kutcher, LOL. Yeah, I'm Lisa, as in Big Lisa.
Yeah, my name's Lisa, but I go by Big Lisa.
Oh my God. Like that is so funny. That's amazing.
Isn't that bad? Yeah. So, Big Lisa, if you're listening, we need to have you on. I need to meet you.
Please. So, I want to know Big Lisa's work stories.
We need a happy hour with these people. And I need to drink with Big Lisa and know, have you gone by this your entire life? Or is this just like a recent
new thing?
Identity?
What if she's like, you guys have been calling me that behind my back on your,
like,
on
what
the
if
internet?
She's normal. Like she's normal. Like she's totally normal. And he just like goes for this. But no, Ron says she goes by this. This is her name. First name Big, last name Lisa.
Birth name. Oh my God. That is so good.
I know.
That was
so I'm glad I made you laugh. So
that was really good.
Right, so our guest next week, we're going to keep under wraps because I really want to hype it up and she'll appreciate that I hyped it up. So, she's going to tell some stories. We worked together for a whole 2 weeks. So I hope she tells that story, but she says she has more. So okay. Yeah, we'll have a whole episode with a special guest and we're really excited. So so bring all your stories. Honestly, keep messaging us, let us know how we're doing. And we love all the stories and we want to just keep them coming. And if you guys want to hear more of certain topics, like if you love Peyton's job stories, I will get as many as I can. If you want to hear more about Subway, like we talked about last week, let us know. We're down for whatever. So
what do you say? Rate, review, and subscribe? Or is that just on YouTube?
Yeah, actually, Can you guys make sure you subscribe, whatever. We don't know what we're doing. Thanks for listening. This is A Case of Mondays with Jordan and Ashton. Please like and subscribe.
Bye. That was good.
That was good.
Stop recording.